salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Eh, Kami ucapkan terima kasih pada peserta, yaitu hari ini adalah pelatihan dari program studi ilmu manajemen untuk mahasiswa S2 dan S3 program pasca sarjana. Kami sampaikan sebagai informasi bahwa mulai bulan Juni tahun 2024, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis melanggan Capital IQ dan Capital IQ Pro yang dapat diakses secara remote menggunakan personal login, di mana mahasiswa bisa akses dimanapun dan kapanpun. Kami informasikan juga bahwa semua email mahasiswa yang aktif, baik angkatan 2024 ataupun yang sebelumnya, sudah kami kirimkan datanya ke pihak SNP. Jadi silakan mahasiswa mengecek emailnya, email UI ya. Jadi email UI-nya silakan dicek apakah ada email masuk, silakan dicek di inbox ataupun di spam untuk welcoming email dari pihak SNP. Kemudian juga bagi yang belum menerima email dari pihak SNP, nanti kami akan mengirimkan alamat Google Form untuk mengisi email mahasiswa yang belum menerima email dari pihak SNP, dan nanti akan kami kirimkan per 2 minggu sekali. Nah, di sini ada yang akan memberikan pelatihan yaitu FEB MOOC. Dia sebagai Customer Success Manager, dan juga di sini ada Bapak Leo Kurniawan sebagai Business Development Manager Sustainability Solution. Kemudian juga kami akan mengirimkan absensi kehadiran Bapak Ibu untuk mengisi kehadiran peserta. Kemudian juga untuk pelatihan ini akan kami record dan nanti kami akan tampilkan di websitenya PSB dan juga YouTube PSB. Apabila dari para peserta ada pertanyaan, silakan menulis di kolom chat ataupun bisa langsung menanyakan, nanti raise hand ke pembicaranya. Pak Leo, kami sampaikan juga bahwa di sini ada dosen juga yang nanti akan mendampingi Pak untuk kegiatan pelatihan hari ini. Ada Bapak Budi Prasetya yang akan mendampingi mungkin mahasiswa juga yang mungkin akan memberikan pertanyaan seputar penggunaan Capital IQ dan IQ Pro ini. Mungkin itu yang bisa saya sampaikan Pak sebagai pembuka. Pak Budi ada yang akan disampaikan Pak?
Ya, boleh.
Nah, silakan Pak Budi.
Halo Pak Leo dan tim, selamat siang.
Siang Pak Budi.
Baik Pak, mungkin untuk membuat training kita bisa lebih terarah dan fokus ya Pak ya. Dan kebetulan ini pesertanya semuanya adalah graduate student, master student, dan doctoral student di program kami di Graduate School of Management. Dan kebutuhan utama teman-teman adalah untuk mengekstrak data dari SNP Capital IQ Pro gitu ya, baik data-data yang data market maupun data dari financial statement maupun data-data yang lainnya ke dalam format data yang nanti akan lebih mudah diproses lebih lanjut. Jadi mungkin kalau bisa dibantu oleh Pak Leo dan tim, mungkin kita fokusnya di Excel add-in-nya. Bagaimana caranya misalkan kalau kita ingin mendownload sekian variabel sekaligus time series data misalkan saya ingin ambil data seluruh saham yang ada di Bursa Efek Indonesia ya, Indonesian Capital Market dari periode tertentu ya, dengan frekuensinya daily, monthly atau weekly. Nah, itu bagaimana caranya melakukan hal tersebut sehingga nanti teman-teman bisa menggunakannya di komputernya masing-masing. Saya pribadi sudah mencoba Pak Leo, dan sebenarnya ini sangat powerful sekali ya Pak Leo ya. Apa yang ada di Capital IQ Pro maupun Excel add-ins-nya. Dan oleh karena itulah mungkin teman-teman di sini bisa dibantu oleh Pak Leo dan tim untuk ditunjukkan ya bagaimana cara mengoptimasi penggunaan Capital IQ Pro untuk kebutuhan riset. Mungkin itu sebagai pengantar ya Pak Leo ya. Monggo silakan.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Budi. Mungkin dari SNP kami ucapkan terima kasih sekali lagi kepada seluruh peserta ya dari program graduate yang telah meluangkan waktunya untuk hadir di sesi training hari ini. Berdasarkan informasi yang kami terima sebelum training, ada 3 topik ya yang akan kita fokuskan untuk hari ini. Topik pertama yaitu cara akses Capital IQ atau Capital IQ Pro datanya dengan menggunakan Excel plugin. Tentu saja dipandu mulai dari proses download atau instalasi sampai dengan penggunaan toolsnya sendiri. Dan yang kedua itu cara mengunduh data seperti harga saham, market cap, reksadana, rasio keuangan ya. Jadi semua metrik yang tercantum di laporan keuangan itu akan kami tunjukkan juga bagaimana cara mengekspor data atau langsung menarik data melalui formula yang tersedia di Excel. Dan yang ketiga, ini mungkin perlu sedikit klarifikasi juga, Pak Budi. Ini yang ketiga tentang sistem rewarding terhadap tenaga kerja yang didasari penilaian performa yang adil dan tidak merugikan keuangan perusahaan. Ini sepertinya lebih ke topik riset ya. Tapi kalau misalkan tentang data yang diperlukan, itu mungkin boleh dijelaskan lebih mendetail, Pak Budi, data-datanya itu yang diperlukan apa aja?
Ya, mungkin fokus yang pertama kedua dulu aja Pak Leo.
Mm-mm.
Nanti mungkin itu benar kata Pak Leo ya, kayaknya itu
Ya,
lebih ke topik riset. Tapi nanti teman-teman kan boleh nanya. Misalkan ada data-data khusus kayak data owners ya,
mm-mm.
percentage share of ownership, persentase kepemilikan yang
Oke.
seperti itu mungkin juga jadi topik-topik khusus lah. Tapi saya kira kita fokus yang nomor 1, nomor 2 aja tuh sudah sangat membantu banyak Pak Leo ya.
Siap, siap. Kalau begitu mungkin kita langsung mulai aja training hari ini. Jika rekan-rekan sekalian ada pertanyaan, itu boleh langsung diajukan dengan cara unmute ya, atau boleh juga dicantumkan di chat box-nya. Nanti kita akan jawab setelah training dilaksanakan oleh Faith. Ada juga sesi Q&A. Jadi tenang aja, kita akan menjamin bahwa semua pertanyaan itu dijawab di sesi hari ini juga. Kalau misalkan ada pertanyaan yang memerlukan riset lebih lanjut, oleh Faith itu nanti akan di follow up kembali melalui email. Oke, kalau misalkan nggak ada pertanyaan lainnya, Pak Budi atau hal lain yang diklarifikasi, mungkin saya langsung persilakan aja ya, Faith, untuk memulai training hari ini. Gimana, Pak Budi? Apakah kita langsung mulai?
Ya, silakan Pak Leo.
Oke, siap. Faith, whenever you're ready, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Leo. Let me just share my screen and get started. Sorry, it's just taking 1 second. Okay. Let me know if you can see my Capital IQ screen.
Yes, I can see your screen. Wait.
Okay, great. Yeah, so just to quickly introduce, I'm the Customer Success Manager helping to support Universitas Indonesia. If you guys have any specific questions that you want to see in the training session, apart from the Excel plugin and extracting out market information as well as the ownership data, feel free to let me know. I just want to make sure this session is beneficial for you and we address all of your queries. So yeah, feel free to unmute yourself or let us know in the chat if there's specific questions along the way, or if I'm going too fast at any point, feel free to let me know and I can slow down as well. So just to give a bit of background on Capital IQ and Capital IQ Pro, these are 2 web-based platforms that you have access to, something that you can access through, keying in your login credentials, which I believe should be your university email address. And once you log in, It's a web-based platform, so something that you can access online as well as in Excel. I will be showing you how you can log in into Excel to get access to our plugins. That might be a lot more helpful if you're trying to extract our company or specific metrics. If you don't always want to go into the platform, the Excel might be a more easier and direct way to see that information. Okay, so I'm going to go through the Capital IQ platform first, and then I'll move on to Capital IQ Pro afterwards. So the difference between the two platforms is that Capital IQ is kind of like our legacy platform. We had this for a longer period of time for CompuStat financials. So for financials specifically, especially in North America, we have better historical coverage under CompuStat, and it's currently only available on Capital IQ. So later I'll show you from the company profile how we can get access to that. But before I jump into that, I'm just going to show you how you can get access to the plugin and what the plugin looks like. So on the platform under My Capital IQ, on the top navigation bar, you should see one that says Downloads. So on this Downloads page, you will be able to access this Office plugin. So the very first link where it says Download Office plugin, new installer. This is where I can get access to the plugin for CIQ. So there are also two different plugins, one on CIQ and one on CapIQ Pro. When you have this in Excel, it should show up in the Excel toolbar as SMP Capital IQ or SMP Cap IQ Pro, depending on which plugin you are installing. Okay, so this is how you identify whether you have the plugin installed correctly. And once I have the plugin installed, I can then run and pull out company-specific information, so like what I have over here. I will be showing you step by step how you can pull up this information, but just to let you know what it should look like, when you click into this, you should be able to see a couple of things. You can see things like our templates. So these are the pre-built Excel templates that we have. You can take a look at the various templates we have because we do have ownership templates, comparables template, market information, and so on. So just to show you what a template would look like, so something like this, each template will have their own set of instructions. So they'll let you know like what are the inputs that you need, be it the company ticker, the time period, the date, and so on. And once you run and refresh the template, it should then update the details below. So I'm just using this financial snapshot one to show you what it looks like. I like this one over here because it gives you an overview on the company's valuation as a whole. You can see some multiples, you can see some, yeah, I believe there should be ratios as well. Yeah, so you can access all of this information very easily using our existing templates. So again, this is under SMP Capital IQ. Templates over here is where you can hover and go over the various folders. Just as a starting point, you can take a look at the Excel plugin tools. This one over here shows you a very basic explanation on some of the frequently used formulas, an Excel guide, what the formula structure looks like, and so on. So you can take a look at the Excel plugin tools folder once you have the plugin installed. Okay, I'll navigate back into the platform, and then later on, I'll show you how to pull the metrics in Excel. So I just don't want it to be too confusing. Just going to go back into the platform and show you what sort of data we can find, how you can extract out the company financials and ownership information. So looking up company information on the platform is quite easy. In the main search bar, the left-hand side, you can type in the company name. So if there's any specific company you have in mind, feel free to share. Otherwise, I'm just going to pull up a random example for now. So it will work for the company name or their ticker as well. So just in today's example, I'm going to use TLKM over here. So once I search up the company name, the first thing it would show me is this tear sheet page. So the tear sheet is where I get a good overview on the company's latest information. I can see some things like their website, office location, their industry information, and their business description, as well as some of the latest updates. So I can see some news updates, key developments, and so on. And I can also see a quick overview on their latest financial information. So since you guys do focus a little bit more on ownership information and some of the stock price information, I'm just going to cover that. So on the left-hand side is where you're able to access all of the available information on the company level. These are already grouped based on the type of data it is. So you can see that, for instance, all the financials information will be sitting under these two different sections, the financials and valuation firstly, and the CompuStat financials. So only certain company profiles with CompuStat financials available, they will have this section. So in this case, they do have CompuStat financials. For other company profiles that may not be covered under CompuStat financials, then you will not be able to see this. But you can click into any of these. So let's say I'm just clicking into their income statement to see the exact historical income statement information. At the top is where you can adjust the time frame. Mine is just showing me an annual period at the moment, but if you want this quarterly, you can adjust this in the period type drop-down bar. And if you did want it to adjust the currency, you can expand the more options over here, and then you can adjust the currency. Sorry, later I'll show you how you can adjust the account settings as well. My default account settings is just set to reported currency, but of course, if you want to customize this to a certain, currency, you can do that as well. If you wanted to see a longer time period, you can just drag the time bar at the top, and you can hover over this eye icon to get a definition on, the individual metric, the Excel formula. So if this is something that you want to pull in Excel, you can also just use this as a reference on what is the metric name in Excel. So you know that in this case, for total revenue, it's this particular metric. Okay. So this is not just for the income statement. Of course, you can explore the other financial statements as well, like the balance sheet, cash flow. The ratios is one I just want to open up as well. This is where you can click through the data points and you can see where the number is coming from, the numerator and denominator, and you can expand over here, for instance, the total assets, and you can see how this has been computed. For certain companies, if they do report additional metrics, they will be captured under the supplemental. So that will be could be industry supplemental information. It really depends on what the company has reported in their financials. If they have disclosed this in their annual reports and their SEC filings, then we will be able to capture that under the supplemental. Just gonna take a pause and see if there's any questions on the financials at the moment.
Apakah ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan UI mengenai perihal yang dipresentasi FEB?
Saya belum mendapatkan emailnya untuk download plugin ini bagaimana?
Maaf Mbak Putri, suaranya agak kecil, mungkin boleh didekatkan ke mic-nya.
Maaf Pak, saya belum mendapatkan email untuk download plugin, install plugin ini dari mana ya Pak?
Oh, kalau
Mungkin
itu
saya ketinggalan.
Pak Dindin, welcoming email ya Mbak Putri ya?
Saya login ke welcoming email lagi error Pak. Jadi saya login dari Gmail, tapi saya nggak dapat email masuk Pak.
Ya,
Emailnya pakai akun UI.
Ya Pak Leo, Mbak Putri. Jadi emailnya
Ya, Pak.
sudah kami kirimkan ke pihak SNP, mungkin dalam proses ya Mbak, karena tidak langsung dimasukkan, butuh proses beberapa hari untuk dimasukkan ke dalam sistemnya Capital IQ-nya.
Oh, oke, baik Pak. Berarti
Tunggu aja dulu emailnya.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih Pak.
Baik, makasih banyak Mbak Putri dan Pak Dindin. Oke, ada pertanyaan lainnya yang bisa kami jawab sebelum kami lanjut ke topik berikutnya? Cukup ya? Oke, kalau begitu, Faith, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Leo. Yeah, so when it comes to extracting out the company financials, if you're already on the platform, let's say you're happy in what you're seeing right now, there are download options at the top. So you can choose to download this specific ratios page. Or if you want like all of these tabs, you can click on the download financials. That would be one of the easy way to pull all of these in Excel. Of course, you can adjust the time period if you want to see a longer time period. or in Excel, I will be showing you how you can directly pull these ratios or the income statement balance sheet figures as well. Okay. But for now, I'm just going to move on to the ownership information. So on the left-hand side, under investors, this is where I can see who are the owners of this particular company. So let's take a look at the public owners over here. So the first page it shows me is the summary page. So it gives me an overview on who are the holders of the companies, institutions, corporations, and so on. But if I want to drill down, if I want to see the individual holders, I can always take a look at the detail page. So this is more helpful if you want to see the exact position date, the market value, the stock held, things like that. You can even expand the positions over here, and you can specify if you want them to be like increase or decrease in position. And this shows you some of the latest holders. If there's specific holders that you're interested in to see how those have trended over time, you can actually click into this one over here. So the history column, this will give you a specific owner's change in ownership for the particular company. So let's say if I want to see for BNY, I can click this over here. It shows me in chart form as well as the data table below. Just a point to note for ownership information, you'll notice that the position data will be on a quarterly basis because this is how often these are reported. We will also be able to see the source of where we're getting this information from in this source column. So if you're interested in specific owners, you can definitely click into the owner's name, or if you want to click into the history bar chart, you can do that as well. Otherwise, if you wanted to see specific position dates, so not the latest filings, if you want to see like end of last year perhaps, you can also specify that as well. Another page that might be helpful if you're trying to see the ownership trend would be our history tab over here. So this again allows me to see over time, especially for the last 1 year, how the change in ownership has been for specific holders. You can filter this, if you're looking at specific holders that are that you have in mind already. Yeah, so this is for the ownership information. If you needed to see, let's say, like more like subsidiaries information and holdings, you might want to take a look at the corporate tree. So under investments, we also have a corporate tree page over here. This will be more helpful if you're trying to see subsidiaries or other companies that this base company has invested or are involved with, and then you can expand those to see, who their subsidiaries are as well. And you can also search for specific companies that you have in mind or filter based on the relationship type. So right now, my filter is showing me for current subsidiaries, but I could also filter this for current investments and the ownership type as well, be majority or minority ownership. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on to some of the market information that you can see. So first of all, in terms of market information, we have our corporate issuance. So we have, like, for example, our equity listing. So this is found on the left-hand side, equity listings. This gives me all the various equities for this particular company. By default, it shows me those that are active only. If you do want to see the historical equity listing to include those that are no longer active, you can toggle to include inactive over here. And if there are specific pricing information you want to see on particular dates, you can also set this on the left-hand bar. So this just gives you a good overview on some of the historical and current equity listings. The primary equity listing would always be shown in bold. So you can click into that to get more information about, let's say, historical dividends. You can see market cap information, things like that. And if you wanted to see how, let's say, the market cap or the share price information has trended over time, I will suggest that you can take a look at the charting tool. So left-hand side, under charting, there is this chart builder or annotated stock chart. The annotated stock chart, I'll show you what that looks like. So that will give me the stock price and volume already plot in by default, and I can toggle to include some of the additional information. So it already shows me the stock price and volume. If I wanted to compare this with other companies, I can just specify the company ticker. But what these additional diamond icons are showing me is these are showing me specific developments, or what we track as market moving events. So these are known as key developments in S&P. So you can hover over the diamond shape icons to see, what the particular development was, for example, like earnings release and so on. You can also expand this plus annotations over here to customize the type of developments that you want to see. So you could see things like announced or completed transactions, maybe listing related, potential red flag or distress indicators. These are quite popular for people to monitor when they want to see how the stock price has changed over time. And you can also toggle this for the investments in their subsidiaries companies. So there's specific transaction updates for the investments in subsidiaries that you think might have affected their share price information. You can also toggle to see where those happened as well. So this one over here gives me stock price and volume by default. You can see over here into the chart summary. If I wanted to see additional things like the market cap, for instance, just click on the plus metrics over here. I can see some of the commonly used metrics for things like multiples. You can see TB, EBITDA, TB revenue. But if there's any other metric, I can go into the advanced lookup, and then I can just look that up as well. So let's say going into market data, equity market data, or you can search based on keyword. But once you're more familiar, you can also just click into the individual folders. So let's say if I want to see market cap, I can apply that and then just add it into my chart. And I should be able to see that. So I can see the color of the line as well. So you can see market cap is in green, share prices in blue. So you can easily hover over the various data points to see the particular figure on the date. If you wanted to extract this into Excel, there is also easy ways to save this chart. So you can see there is a save button over here, so you can revisit this chart at a later time. Or you can export this into Excel. It will include the chart itself as well as the chart summary at the bottom. If you needed to make changes to the date, the default is always showing me for the 1 year period. But if I have a specific date range in mind, I can also adjust it. So this is for the market information. Okay. So if there are no questions at this point in time, I'm going to quickly move on to Excel and how we can pull those same information, so the market information, stock price data, as well as the financial metrics in Excel. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just going to use this one over here. I'm just going to start from scratch. So in terms of formula building in Excel, it's really not too difficult. You can leverage on our formula builder over here. So you don't really have to memorize how these formulas are structured. I'll just say that the basic structure of the formula is always needs to reference some sort of identifier. So some sort of either ticker or some sort of CapIQ ID. And if you don't have that, we do have an identifier converter template that you can use. So in the converter template, you can just paste in the company name and it's able to convert it to a ticker or a CapIQ ID if it's a private company.
So sorry, Fine.
Yes.
Can you go back in capital IQ web base? Yes.
Yes.
For example, if I want to explore the corporate bond of Telkom, TLKM, how I can found it in this capital IQ web?
Okay, yeah, sure. Corporate bonds, right? So corporate bonds information will all sit under fixed income on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to show you the summary page first. So summary page will give me an overview, some of the debt data that they have. You can see some of their credit ratios as well. But specific bonds that you have in mind, you can see their latest issued securities or upcoming maturing securities. If you have specific bonds in mind, you might just want to take a look at the security summary page. So again, that's under fixed income security summary over here. Yeah, so you can specify whether, this is including their subsidiaries, bond information. I can see over here, just has senior unsecured bonds. And I can expand this as well. So if you have like QSIP ISIN codes that you already have in mind, you can also search this based on the QSIP ISIN codes. Clicking into any of the maturity date, so anything in blue, will give me more information about the particular bond. So let's say this corporate bond over here. So I can see things like the issuance information, the coupon type, maturity date, offering price, and so on. And I can also see under pricing evaluation, what's the price, new to worst, and some of the coupon information as well, payment frequency, and so on. And then there is a chart here also showing you the yield to worst, and if you needed to dive deeper and you want to see this in our chart builder, you can toggle the open and chart builder from. Just want to check if there's any questions on the fixed income or the corporate bond information. Or was this what you're looking for?
Yes, I think if we use chart builder applications, we can find the historical data of yield of corporate bond or the price and so on. Right?
Yes, so you can see that yield to worst bond price.
Oh,
These are
okay.
all examples of what you can see. Let me just show you using this link over here. So it should pull up similar to what I had earlier for the company market information. It's just showing me specifically for the bond price now. But of course, if I wanted to see the yield to worst, I can toggle under metrics over here, something like this. So I can see both of those lines at once. Yeah. But yes, this
Okay.
is also
Thank you, Fed. It's very nice, I think.
yeah. And if you're not going from the company profile, but you still wanted to get access to the chart builder, just to let you know, there should be a charting option in your blue navigation as well. So going from charting, it just gives you a blank chart. But if you're going from the company profile, then it already specify the company ticker over here. So it's really up to your preference. If you want to compare to other companies, you can also do that. Yeah. But that's a good question. All right, so let me go into Excel just for a little bit, just to show you how you can pull the same sort of data in Excel, be it the market information and financial metrics. So again, in terms of formula building, it's actually quite simple. I'm just going to zoom in so it's easier to see. So you can see that I have a couple of metrics already pulled out here, and I just pulled out the formula text as well, so you can see the corresponding formula. So in terms of how the formula is structured, it's always referencing a company ticker, because I already have the ticker in cell B1, and then followed by the metric, and then some sort of time period or as of date. So that one would depend on the type of metric that you're pulling, but you can rely on our formula builder over here. When I open up, when I open up Formula Builder, they should give me this pop-up window. And you can see that they allow me to choose between identifier or cell. So if I don't have a cell with the ticker, I can use identifier. And if I don't know the company ticker, I can actually use this magnifying glass, which is our identifier lookup, and then just search the company. Yeah. So let's see if I want to search Apple. If I search on Apple, it will give me a list of companies with Apple in their name. Sorry, that's a bit small. Yeah, I can't seem to zoom this one in further. But what you'll do is just click on the result that you're looking for. So let's say I'm looking for the BL one over here, and click on OK, and it should populate my ticker over here. And then after that, you can just look up the metric under the data item keyword. So I like to use this search over here. When you're more familiar with the Excel building, you can click into the individual folders, be it like financials, multiples, or company information. But the data item keyword search is very fast, I would say. So let's say if I'm trying to pull up total revenue, I can search that up and it could populate for me. So let's say if I want, on the right-hand side, they'll ask me for the periods. If I want this for the last 12 months, I can do that. I can put the as of date as today and add the formula. When it comes to CompuStat financials, there is a specific CompuStat folder over here. So how you can tell if it's a CompuStat metric would be that CompuStat financials would have underscore CS after it to stand for CompuStat. So I can pull the same for the LTM as well. And then let's say I want to populate this in B17. I'm just going to click on OK. Or something like this. And once I've pulled up the company financials, if I want to kind of check the number itself, you can right click on the cell and click on audit data, which is what I've done. And then over here, kind of giving me a breakdown for the Cap IQ standardized financials. And then you can also audit the CompuStat one. So you can pull using Formula Builder on time series of market information as well. So let's say if you're trying to look or pull for share price information, let me just link cell B1 in this case, and I want to pull maybe the share price, market cap, sorry. Let me search market cap, and I want to pull it for the last 1 year. I'm just going to look up over here, and I'm just going to use the default market cap. When you hover over the question mark icon, it should show me the basis of calculation as well. And then the right-hand side, if I'm not trying to pull just a specific date, let's say I want a range, I can pull last 1 year, something like this. And whenever you're setting a range of values, they'll ask you for the end date as well, because they want to know 1 year from which date. So let's say I'm just going to set this as maybe yesterday's date. And then I can set the frequency, be it daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. If I'm happy with this, I'm just going to add the formula and just confirm that this is pulling for SLB1 market cap for the last 1 year as of 3rd of September. And then I can just click on apply, and it should populate in B18 or something like this. You can see this over here. And if I wanted to change the linkage, I want to change to a different company ticker, I can update that. Or if I don't want 1 year period now, if I just want like last 5 days, I can also adjust it over here. Or if I want a different end date, I can do that as well. So there's really no need to really memorize the formulas. It's quite easy using the formula builder. And you can also leverage on our existing templates to pull the data.
Wait, I have a simple question. How to show the date?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, right now I've only pulled in the market cap, but if I want to see the corresponding date, I can pull in a different column, the pricing date. So let me just use that thing again. So the metric is just called pricing date or price date, I believe. So price date over here. And then I'm just going to pull the same range. So I'm just going to set it as last 1 year as well. So it corresponds. Something like this. And just confirm. Okay. So right now it's just showing a bunch of numbers, but I just need to sorry about it. Just refresh them. But the price date is what you want to pull for pricing date. IQ price date. Okay, let me just set it as 50 stores. Like that. So just sorry about that. It should be showing the formula. Yep, so I want to change this to date. Like this. And it should give me the date instead of the formula. Okay. But yeah, the pricing date is what I will use to pull that. Alternatively, if you want to see all of the pricing date within the formula itself, so within the formula output, you can also use a different range of formula. So if I'm pulling B1 over here, let's just pull market cap again. I can show you what I mean by a posted date within the formula itself. So just now I used the range of values, but if I use the range of formulas one, it will be embedded within the which date. So apply that. So this one should give me in the individual outputs, I can see which date is referenced. So if you always want to see in the output, I will suggest to just pull the range of formulas one. It's really a matter of preference because sometimes people don't like to use the range of formulas one because it might make the file a little bit heavier if you do have hundreds of data points. Yeah. Any other question in Excel? Okay. If there are no questions, sorry. Earlier I realized the account settings one. Just gonna briefly run through this. So on CapIQ, to adjust things like your currency, your default, all those will flow through into your Excel as well. So if you did want to change the default currency that your financials are showing in, you just want to go under my capital IQ and settings. So this one is over here, where you're also able to change some of your login information, specifically under let's see. Yep, so under regional currency over here. Mine is just set as reported, but if you have specific currency that you're always going to look at, you can adjust this over here. So adjust the default when you're looking at any company profiles, or even when you're pulling Excel. You notice that earlier I didn't specify any currency, so it's just pulling my default account settings. If you did want to change this, this is where you're able to do it. I just want to take a pause here and see if there's any questions on CIQ before I move on to capital IQ.
Apakah ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan FEB UI sebelum kita lanjut ke platform Capital IQ Pro?
Ada Pak Leo sebentar.
Silakan Pak Budi.
Silakan Bu Rinda.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Budi. Mohon informasi terkait dengan data tokens atau NFT atau Islamic coins.
Oke, terkait dengan data token, itu cryptocurrency ya, Bu Rinda?
Yeah, cryptocurrency is the coin. So
Oke,
if there is any token or
ya.
NFT.
Oke, jadi untuk level tertentu, untuk koin-koin yang sifatnya agak umum ya, seperti Bitcoin dan lain sebagainya, itu akan ada data terakhir di platform Capital IQ Pro di bagian dashboard. Nanti Faith akan tunjukkan juga kepada semuanya. Faith, if you could also show them how to access cryptocurrency data in CIQ Pro dashboard, that would be great.
Cryptocurrency or okay. Sorry, Leo. I feel that I'm not really sure for the crypto. Would it be field selector that I can pop this in? Pop this first, sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. It's under markets. So if you could,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes. Um,
Yeah, perhaps if you could unshare your screen, then I'll share mine.
okay, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. Okay, let me just quickly click onto share screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Sharing the screen right now. Apakah sudah kelihatan screen saya, Mbak Rinda?
Yep,
Sudah,
I
Pak.
see your
Sudah
screen.
ya. Jadi nanti di platform Capital IQ Pro itu ada dashboard yang namanya Markets ya. Jadi untuk setting ke market itu gampang, tinggal klik aja 3 dot di sini. Nanti di sini ada reload default dashboard ya. Nanti setelah reload default dashboard itu akan muncul tab market di sini. Itu tinggal diklik aja FX atau crypto. Itu akan muncul harga terakhir dari kripto-kripto yang terkenal seperti yang saya katakan tadi ya, seperti di sini ada Bitcoin, ada Ethereum dan lain sebagainya. Tapi untuk saat ini memang yang bisa kami tunjukkan di dashboard itu hanyalah harga terakhir ya dari kripto-kripto di sini. Seperti itu. Untuk Islamic coin mungkin untuk saat ini belum tersedia di sini, soalnya itu agak spesifik ya sifatnya. Semoga itu menjawab pertanyaannya, Bu Rinda.
Baik, berarti NFT belum ada ya?
Betul. Jadi untuk saat ini cuma kripto-kripto yang ditunjukkan di sini yang tersedia di platform Capital IQ Pro.
Baik, terima kasih.
Seperti itu. Soalnya untuk platform Capital IQ Pro itu memang peruntukannya tujuan utamanya itu adalah untuk akses market data di tingkat ekuitas, di tingkat obligasi ya dan juga di tingkat perusahaan. Jadi kalau untuk NFT itu masih memang belum tersedia di platform Capital IQ Pro seperti itu. Baik, ada pertanyaan lainnya mungkin yang bisa kami jawab?
Pak Leo,
Silakan Pak Aswin.
Pak Leo nanti bisa minta tolong dicontohkan ini untuk download data. Kita bisa download sekaligus gitu kan ya? Misalnya seluruh membernya IDX gitu untuk close price stoknya misalnya weekly atau
Yap.
daily gitu bisa.
Bisa. Jadi untuk itu kita akan rekomendasi untuk menggunakan tool yang namanya screener. Ya, nanti akan ditunjukkan oleh Faith. Jadi selain screener sebenarnya chart builder juga bisa membantu jika ingin menarik harga saham ya untuk beberapa perusahaan atau bahkan semua perusahaan yang tercatat atau di listing di IDX. So Faith, if I could hand it over back to you to show the team on how to pull a list of stock prices for companies listed in IDX, that would be great. Okay,
Yeah,
handing
sure.
it over to you.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, so for this, let me just share my screen. Yeah, sure. So to see a list of companies and their stock price information, probably screen out would be the best way if you don't already have like a watch list or if you want to track this on the dashboard, that's also possible. But I'm just gonna show on a company screen first. So under screener, go into companies. And what we'll do is we'll add in the company names. And later on, I'll show you how you can also save the companies into watch list, then you can reopen it very easily and access it. So under add companies, this is where you can add in a couple of company names or company tickers that you want to track some sort of share price information, or even financial metrics that will work as well. So I'm just going to add in a couple of tickers. So let's say these are the 3 companies that I just want to see data for. I'm gonna click on run screen once I'm happy with the 3 companies. And under display columns, when I run that, I can search up the metric that I'm looking for. So let's say it's the share price information. I'm gonna search this one. I'll call last sale price or share price. Check. Close price. So over here under the close price, I can see other information. So I can specify, I can specify would it be day open price, day close price. I'm going to use the close price for now. And then right hand side is where I can specify the period. So if I want this from maybe 1st August, so let's just put 1st to 9th of August, something like this. I can add it over here and I can just verify that these are the metrics that I wanted to see. If I have other things that I would like to add to the screen as well, be it the market cap and so on, I can also add those. So let's say if I click on market cap, they'll also keep the same time periods. I can easily just also add that in. Yeah. Okay, for now, I'm just going to leave it as the day close price and apply that. So what it should show me is those companies' share price information for my specified date. If these are metrics that I'm going to revisit, like let's say the day close price for these 9 days are dates that I always want to see for other companies as well, I will suggest that when you go into display columns, you can save this as a report. So saving as a report makes it easy to retrieve. So even if I'm looking at different companies, I can easily reopen the day close price for these companies. So that is pulling share price information for a specific list of companies. Later on, when you do have watch lists in your account, you can also use the My List over here to specify the watch list names in your account. But specifically pulling companies listed in IDX, let me just show you how you can do that. So there are a couple ways to pull up the criteria in Screener. You can click on my suggested way is to click on Browse Criteria over here, just so this view selector pops up. So when the view selector pops up, I can specify things like company type. So I could set that to public company, for example. So I can set that over here to public companies. And if I wanted to see, them listed in specific exchanges, I believe there's one also for the exchange. So bagi, just so I've got to get it over here. So under exchange over here, I will be able to specify IDX as the exchange, add it to the screen, and then if I'm happy with the list of companies, I can click on done, run the screen to see the list of companies. Otherwise, if you want to narrow down the list more, you can also do that. So let me just accept this. Let's say this is not what I'm trying to pull. I just want to see the list of companies first. Yeah, so this is where I can see the list of companies. And of course, if I want them to be in specific industry, I can also refine that further, and add in other criteria that I prefer. But otherwise, if I just want to see information I have without narrowing down the list of companies, I can click on display columns and add in those metrics on my own. And because I am on a company screen, I can also use this where is my company button over here. So I can look up specific companies that I have in mind. So let's use TLKM again. I'm searching up. They will let me know that it passes the screen criteria in this case. So if I'm trying to pull TLKM, I could leave the screen as it is. But otherwise, if it's a different company that's not pulling in the results, you might just want to check on the company profile or your existing criteria to make sure they are pulling the relevant results. And in terms of saving of your screen as well, just to let you know, there are a couple of options over here. So I'm going to go through them one by one. First of all, saving of my screen criteria. So what I've added in the screen, in this case, is just the exchange being IDX. If I want to save the list, this is the list of companies I've generated. So it's that 1,000 over company results. The views as report on my display columns. If I want to save everything at once, I can just save it as a project. So saving the companies as a list, I can toggle it over here and click on Save List. They'll just prompt me to enter in a list name, and then I can revisit this list later on. just to let you know, there are other ways that you can also save a list of companies, not just from Screener. If I did want to save a list from scratch, I can also find this on the right-hand side under List Portfolios and Screens and create a list of portfolio from scratch. So that's another way that I can create a watch list in my account. And once I have a watch list in my account, I can integrate it on my dashboard, Screener, and so on. Okay. But just as a starting point, when it comes to Screener, I do understand that it takes some getting used to in terms of what criteria I'm supposed to use. There is quite a lot of information over here. So I will suggest always clicking on Browse Criteria, just so that it's easier to search up the metric rather than going into the individual folders. And as a starting point, you can also take a look at some of our pre-built templates. So those are Screener templates that have already been designed to kind of just help you generate company screen, transaction screen, security screen, and so on. So under Screener, that is this idea generations over here. You can search based on workflow or screen type. I will leave you to explore that in your own time, but it's really just a helpful starting point that you can still make changes from there, but it will include some pre-built criteria already embedded in each of the screen type, just as a starting point. Okay. Just want to take a pause here and see if there's any questions on Screener at this point in time. Okay, I did understand that there were some questions on NAV information, so that's something that you can also pull in Screener. So if you are trying to pull mutual funds, NAV, for example, that's something that I can specify under company type. I can specify mutual fund over here as the company type. And then this is pulling quite a lot of results, so you might want to narrow down a little further. So let's see if I'm just setting this to Asia Pacific. I can add that over here. If I want them to be in a specific industry, like TMT, I can also add that. Oh, sorry, that's not a very good example. Maybe I'll just leave it as this is, and then I can pull those with NAV. So the browse criteria is what I suggest because this view search is easier to look at the metrics. I can search NAV, for example, and there's a pop-up for NAV per share. I can specify either greater, less than, or if I just wanted to have values, I can also put it's not NA, so for not applicable. And then I just need to specify pricing period. Just gonna set this as 30th August and edit. So this is just pulling me all the mutual funds in Asia Pacific where I do have NAV per share for the end of last month, and then I can see this over here. So I can click into any of the result names to get more information on the fund level, but this is how I would be able to find the NAV per share for mutual funds on Screener. All right, so if there are no questions on Screener, let me move on to how you can also use the existing watch list to integrate in your dashboard page, as well as how you can get some of the company level insights on the news level. So the first one I'm going to show you is this dashboard page, which is also what you'll see whenever you log into Capital IQ Pro. This is customizable, so you will see different information from what I have. You can just add in the widgets on the right-hand side. So it'd be like a chart. If you're trying to monitor a certain company's stock price or specific metrics, you can opt for the chart widget, which I have on the left-hand side. You can also specify a list of companies, heat map, performance chart, or if you want to check even like let's say deal trends over time, there are transaction statistics widget that you can also add into your dashboard. So each widget is quite easy to navigate through. You can always click on the gear icon to adjust the individual widget settings, but certain widgets, so like the charting widget over here and my newswire widget, which I have on the right-hand side, there is additional features on this because you'll notice that there is this little broadcast icon that is flashing. So what the broadcast icon does is it shows me company-specific content depending on which ticker I've selected. So right now it's showing me for Alibaba. If I were to click on BYD, it should then update and give me BYD specific content. So now it shows me BYD stock price chart instead, and BYD specific news. On this newswire widget, I just want to show you what other content you can see. So it's not just news information. My particular tab is showing me for Nikkei news, but you can also opt for other content coming from other news providers, or you can also opt for, when companies have published certain documents, certain filings, or have any upcoming events, you can also opt for those as well. The key developments is what I mentioned earlier on what S&P tracks as market moving events. So those might be of interest to you if you are paying close attention to the specific companies and their transaction information. So you can opt for those as well, and you can adjust the time period for the news information or for the newswire widget, as well as the industry and geography. So whenever the broadcast icon is flashing, it's giving me company-specific content. If I don't want that and I always want to see all of the company information, I can just toggle it off by clicking this, so it will stop flashing. Okay. And just want to check if you, if the students and on the call will need to monitor any company or industry level news insights. So just seeing sort of like the trend in the industry and news updates in a sector or just across the board. Is that something that will be relevant? Just want to check if I should cover the news information on Capital IQ Pro, because I didn't really cover much news content on Cap IQ previously. Okay, so if you did needed to access the news information, those will be all sitting under this news drop-down bar, so you can access sector level news pages as well as topical news page. I'll leave you to explore that in your own time as well, but just to let you know, in terms of getting like aggregated news insights, kind of like a daily email newsletter, we can recently launched this IQ newsletters over here. So this kind of gives me region-specific updates. So I can see this for Asia Pacific, kind of gives me some of the trending news headlines, maybe some of the latest transactions within the region, latest movements, or even just some of the macro information as well. So I can see this on a daily basis. The APAC morning IQ gives me before the market opens. The evening IQ is upon closure of the market. So it sends about, I would say 5 plus local time in Indonesia, because this follows when the Australia and Japan market closes as well. So it's sent a little bit earlier. But it's a good way to kind of keep up and monitor what's going on a day-to-day basis, kind of just recapping what happened in the particular trading day. So of course, if you wanted to monitor the US or the European markets, you can also opt into those morning and evening IQs as well. This is just letting you know we now have one for the Asia Pacific region. So again, this is under news, the IQ newsletters over here. Okay. And yeah, I want to kind of repeat what I have gone through on Capital IQ, but in terms of searching for companies on Capital IQ Pro, you'll notice that the search here is quite powerful. I can specify, whether I'm doing a company level search, whether I'm trying to pull equities, even if it's fixed income information or rates in use, I can actually toggle into those individual categories, which I can't quite do on Capital IQ's search. So let's see if you're looking for certain fixed income, certain ISIN codes, you can actually paste this and toggle into the fixed income section. yeah, or even if I'm just typing in, I believe just a company ticker, they will also give me several options. So I can see here for TLKM, I can toggle if I want to go into some of the popular pages as well, which includes the corporate structure, people summary, or stock chart pages. So I can click into those to get navigated into the individual pages. Otherwise, if I want to see their fixed income, I can also toggle that and see some of their fixed income information. So let's say I'm toggling just on the main company profile. Let's take a look at, for instance, maybe their key stats page. So this key stats page over here kind of gives me a quick glimpse on the company financials. So I'll notice over here, I can see this for specific years that I can adjust at the top navigation bar. So again, just to differentiate between the financials on Capital IQ Pro and Capital IQ. The financials on Capital IQ Pro won't have a CompuStat section, which we have on Capital IQ, because that has not been kind of like moved over or integrated yet with Capital IQ Pro. So right now, all the financials you see on Capital IQ Pro is just standardized using our own S&P methodology. But you will be able to see sometimes more granular insights in specific sectors on Capital IQ Pro. So especially within energy companies, financial institutions, metals and mining, TMT, you will be able to see additional things. So like the assets and operations. These are some pages that might be available depending on the company profile. If they have reported those metrics and we have collected those, you will be able to get access to this on Capital IQ. But in terms of ownership information and stock information, those will still be available on the company profile. What is additional on the pros side would be some data visualization. I would say it's better visualization in terms of looking at so the bar chart. You can also drill into some of the top holders, mutual fund holders, and so on. But the detailed pages remain. In terms of seeing the types of owners, you can also specify the same set of things in terms of filtering based on changes in position. You can specify the owner types and so on, just like what you saw on Capital IQ. Okay. In terms of, let's say if you're trying to export out the information into Excel, or whenever you are on any of the pages on Capital IQ Pro, there should be an export drop-down bar over here. If you don't see export, it just might be under this three-dot icon. But the export data will give you an option to export this into Excel, PDF, or Word up to your preference. And I will be showing you how you can get access to the Excel plugin as well. So on the Pro page, the Excel plugin is under the More drop-down bar. Under Links, there is this S&P Capital IQ Pro Office download over here. So that is an install button. That gives you access to the file. If you did need it to look at some of the assistance documents, there is a technical guide, and you can see some of the system requirements on the left-hand side as well. And once you have access to the Excel plugin, then there is a template library that you can leverage on. So these, again, are the pre-built Excel templates that we have. You can search based on keywords or based on workflow. So let's say if I'm trying to look up maybe something like ownership, I can search up ownership. I can see all of the available ownership templates I have. So for instance, there's one for public ownerships. They show me a brief description on what each of the model consists of as well. So if I'm happy with that, I can just click on the template name. And once you have the plugin installed, you should be able to see S&P Cap IQ Pro in your Excel toolbar. And just to highlight the difference between the two plugins, or why there is a need for the two plugins, is the good thing is that S&P Cap IQ Pro is compatible with any older CIQ formulas as well. So I'm gonna test this one over here, which is just kind of like a frequent formula guide on Capital IQ Pro. And you can see that in terms of the basic formula structure, so this is a little bit laggy, but in terms of the basic formula structure, it will resemble what I have earlier, shown you guys earlier. So for Cap IQ Pro formulas, they all start with equals SPG, standing for S&P Global, and it references the ticker, identifier, the metric, and the period. So something like this. But again, no need to memorize the formula syntax. You can always go back into our formula builder. So over here in CapIQ Pro, there is also a formula builder which allows you to assess and build in your own formulas. And some additional things that we have with CapIQ Pro's Excel plugin is our Screener data wizard. So if you want to directly run Screener, be it pulling a company screen, anything that you want to screen on the platform is also accessible in Excel. So I just have an example over here, especially when you're exporting the screener results. You will be able to see one that says table function. So just go into this one over here. So when you're exporting it, let me just show you using a company screen. So let's just pull a basic company screen. So let's say I just want companies in Asia Pacific that are public. Just gonna add these two and then run my screen. And then under export over here, there are a couple of options for you. So just gonna show you firstly for table function what that looks like. So when you're exporting it as a table function in Excel, when you have the plugin installed, there will be this SPG table in one of the cells which links all of my rows and columns. So basically this kind of keeps the Excel file very dynamic. If I want to run this file and open it, let's say a month from now, it should then run and refresh and give me the latest metrics as of the date that I'm opening it up. So you don't always have to run the screen again from scratch. If you already exported as a table function, you can just reopen the file that allows that to be updated. And even if I have more companies, let's say I want more companies than what I have in this particular column, I can kind of drag and drop the link over here in this blue column. So I can just include the entity ID or the ticker that will work as well. And if I want more metrics than what I have, I can kind of drag and drop those as long as I have some sort of formula name or the formula code. I can just pull those across and it should then update in Excel. So that's what the table function one does. Otherwise, if you want the static numbers, if you want them as per what I have on the platform right now, you can just export the results as values. There won't be any formulas embedded in the file if I'm using the results as values option. So only the table function and the single cell function, these would have the Excel formula embedded. Just want to take a pause here and see if there's any questions on Excel at this point in time.
Apakah ada pertanyaan yang bisa kami jawab, rekan-rekan FEB UI sekalian?
Izin bertanya, Pak.
Silakan, Pak.
Mungkin tadi sudah dijelaskan, tetapi barangkali saya terlewat. Jika kita sudah punya mengakses Capital IQ Pro, berarti tidak perlu yang versi Capital IQ sebelumnya ya? Atau ada fitur khusus yang di Capital IQ yang tidak ada di IQ Pro?
Pertanyaan bagus, Pak Usep. Nanti akan saya jelaskan. Terus saya persilakan Fit juga untuk memberikan tambahan ya. Jadi di Capital IQ itu sebenarnya ada beberapa data yang masih cuma tersedia di platform Capital IQ, tapi tidak di Capital IQ Pro. Dikarenakan ini masih dalam fase migrasi ya, tapi ke depannya itu semua data atau fitur yang tersedia akan dimigrasikan ke Capital IQ Pro dan akan kami tutup platform Capital IQ. Tapi untuk saat ini ada baiknya kalau tetap akses kedua platform ya, Capital IQ dan Capital IQ Pro. Nah, salah satu contohnya itu adalah data Kompustab finansial yang memang cuma tersedia di platform Capital IQ, tapi enggak di Capital IQ Pro. Tapi jangan khawatir bahwa semua data yang ada di kedua platform itu terintegrasi secara penuh ya. Jadi data-datanya itu bisa dipindahkan dengan sangat efisien antara satu platform dengan platform lainnya. Faith, perhaps you could add a little bit more here. So Pak Usap's question is more about what kind of data that is available in CIQ but not in CIQ Pro. Why should they access two platforms instead of just sticking into one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I think Leo might have covered this a little, but yes, in terms of CompuStat financials, especially we're going into historical data dating back to the 1950s. CompuStat financials is kind of like a global standard in terms of standardizing of financials, and that is currently sitting only on the Capital IQ platform. So we don't have that fully integrated on Capital IQ Pro at the moment, which is why we kind of have access open on both Capital IQ and Capital IQ Pro. In terms of other things, ownership information, for instance, market information, you will be able to access those from both platforms. We just want to make sure that ease of access is available. Yeah, so you will be able to access things like charting on both, transaction data. All those will be accessible on both platforms. I would say some additional things that are on Capital IQ Pro would include things like more robust news data set. And if you did need to access any private company information, we also do have more private company information on Capital IQ Pro, and certain sectors like the energy, financial institutions, TMT, metals and mining, that are specific more industry granular data available on the Pro platform. But CIQ-wise, if you're just looking at company financials, historical financials, the CompuStat financials are only accessible on CIQ. Yeah, but in terms of screener, I realized I didn't show screener on CIQ previously. You can still access screener on CIQ as well. So you can run, you can see over here on the screener, I can run things like company screen, equity screen, fixed income, and so on. So let's say earlier when we did run through the example on companies listed on IDX, you can also run that company screen on CIQ. That is definitely something you can do. You can save the results as a watch list. You can also leverage some of the idea generation screens all through Capital IQ. Yeah, let me know if you want me to run through that and show you the example on CIQ. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, otherwise, Leo, is there any other questions that I've not covered yet?
Yes, so I guess all of the questions that the members from FPUE raised all has been addressed in the chats as well. So I guess we can quickly go through the support that we can provide the team, as well as I'm not sure if you have gone through the installation of Excel.
Yeah,
How to
I
do
did.
that for both? Okay.
Yeah, but I can recap, no worries.
Sounds good.
So for Excel plugin, I'll go through for both CIQ and CIQ Pro. So for CIQ, we're gonna find this under my Capital IQ and downloads. The very first link where it says new installer is where I can get access to the CIQ plugin. So that will be exporting things from the Capital IQ platform or the CompuStat financials. Those are compatible with the CIQ plugin. For the Pro plugin, I can find this under the More drop-down bar, links, and then the very first link also, SMP CapIQ Pro Office download, and then there is a link over here. If you do face any issues with installation, you can take a look at the technical guide, and there is also our client support team that you can contact. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like on Pro first. On the right-hand side, there is this question mark icon. So there is this quick support over here. They are contactable via email, phone call, or online chat. So you can, contact them through these three channels, and these three channels are also open on CIQ. So if you do have any questions regarding installation or how to find certain data, how to run certain screens, you can definitely reach out to them. They do cover 24/7. So even on the weekends or even on holidays, if you need something urgently, you can definitely reach out to them. On the CIQ platform, the client support team is found under this Contact Us drop-down bar. So the first couple of options to ask a question, make a comment, report an issue, these will all send emails to the email distribution list. Otherwise, you can also contact them via the phone number over here or the chat support. So that is how you can contact the client support team if you do have any questions. And just to let you know, in terms of resources, before you contact the client support team, if you just want to take a look at maybe our frequently asked questions, our question bank, there is this help section over here. On the Flow platform, it's just under Help Center. So those will kind of take you to the same link. You can ask both. You can take a look at both CIQ and CIQ Pro frequently asked questions. And there is something new on Capital IQ Pro, which is this SMP Cap IQ Pro Academy. So these are like short tutorial videos. If you do have time and you want to take a look and become more proficient in terms of navigation, you can check out these tutorial videos. They will be very feature specific. So that could be, let's say, one video on screener, one video on alerts, and so on. So they do go quite detailed into each of the feature on Capital IQ Pro. Upon completion of all the short tutorial videos, there is, I believe, some sort of quiz to just check your level of understanding. It's something that you could perhaps even add into your LinkedIn profile, just to show that you're proficient in your understanding of and navigation of Capital IQ Pro. Yeah, so that's exclusive to Capital IQ Pro. That's a resource that you can take a look at. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you so much everyone for your time. Yeah. Thank you, Lil. Let me know if there's anything else to add.
Yep, alright. Thanks a lot, Faith. Jadi untuk mengecek aja apakah ada pertanyaan lain ya dari rekan-rekan FEB UI sebelum kita menutup training hari ini.
One question.
Silakan, Pak Usep.
So in Capital IQ Interactive Pro is only available for Microsoft Office operating system, right?
Yes, so it will integrate well dengan Windows operating system ya. Jadi seperti di sini sistem requirement-nya itu ada beberapa poin yang harus dipenuhi. Untuk saat ini add-in-nya itu belum terintegrasi dengan macOS. Ya, jadi kalau misalkan ada perangkat macOS mungkin bisa download virtual window, jadi bisa akses Excel plugin-nya seperti itu. Semoga itu menjawab pertanyaannya, Pak Ustadz.
Ya, oke.
Oke. Alright, double check lagi apakah ada pertanyaan lainnya?
Selamat siang Pak Leo.
Silakan, Bu Rizky.
Ya, mau tanya untuk retrieve data dari mutual fund, fokus untuk di market Indonesia itu apakah available, dan informasi kayak ownership dari aset manajemennya kayak gitu bisa dilihat atau enggak ya Pak Leo?
Baik, jadi untuk aset under management ya itu tetap ada portfolionya, itu bisa dilihat daftarnya. Untuk coverage Indonesia, Faith, if you could perhaps show the team the list of mutual funds that we cover in Indonesia.
Yeah, sure. Let me just run a quick screen to pull that list.
Oke. Dan Bu Rizky itu nanti di setiap profil mutual fund-nya itu bisa dilihat daftar portfolio ya dari aset under management-nya.
Untuk lihat holding portofolionya itu bisa Pak? Kayak misal
Bisa.
satu. Oh, oke, oke.
Betul. Tapi itu tetap harus di profil perusahaan ya. Sorry, profil asset manajernya. Jadi ditarik dulu asset manajernya itu apa, terus diklik, nanti akan dibawa ke halaman profil mutual fund. Nanti di sana ada bisa diseleksi holdingnya di panel sebelah kiri seperti itu. Nah, di sini itu ada banyak ya seleksinya, bahkan private fund juga tersedia.
Yeah. So
Ya,
if you wanted to select multiple things like public private fund, you can also update that. And then over here, I can see a column with the fund type. And you can click into the various entity names to get more information about the individual fund. If you wanted to see, I think I've got about the assets under management, you can search that up. And you can specify the particular period that you're looking at this for. So let's see, just to us delete. And let me just rewrite this to write those that we do have some information for. It could be that the AUM data points might be a little bit more limited for funds based in Indonesia. But otherwise, when you click into the individual fund names, you're able to see what information we have, like the LP investors, investments information. So you could also see some of the portfolio companies or what's the investment criteria that they're using.
Okay. Faith, for the sustainability information, is it also available or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think for that question, I can help to address. So I think for now, FEB hasn't subscribed to any ESG data yet. If you feel like this would be of interest and very critical for your workflow, Bu Rizky, feel free to raise this to either Pak Dindin or Bu Endang, and we can have further discussions, right? But I think for now, on your basic access, you're able to view overview of sustainability at company level at the sustainability overview page on each company.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Leo.
Sama-sama, Bu Rizky. Baik, kalau misalkan nggak ada pertanyaan lagi, nanti akan kami follow up kembali ya, Pak Dindi, dengan materi-materi yang sudah dipresentasi hari ini. Faith akan dikirimkan melalui email, jadi mungkin boleh bantuannya untuk didistribusikan ke partisipan training hari ini. Dan kami ucapkan terima kasih kembali ya kepada semua rekan-rekan FEB UI yang telah meluangkan waktunya hari ini. Balik ke Pak Dindit.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih Pak Leo, Fed, dan Desmond. Terima kasih untuk pelatihan hari ini. Dan saya juga terima kasih kepada Pak Budi yang sudah mendampingi teman-teman mahasiswa di pelatihan kali ini. Semoga apa yang sudah disampaikan bisa diaplikasikan dan juga dimanfaatkan semaksimal mungkin. Itu yang bisa saya sampaikan, Pak Leo. Terima kasih banyak.
Yep.
Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Selamat sore.